Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back in with you guys for another show, for another episode of our Managerial Tactical Breakdown series, show in which we get the latest information, education straight to your ears regarding the latest Arsenal manager hype. And today has been a big day as an Arsenal fan because, of course, Unai Emery is no longer the manager of the club, and that has meant that the betting and the candidates has gone up in the air completely. And today's show is no different in terms of discovering new info about a talent, not even a talent these days, but a true and real candidate for that Arsenal role. This guy was really up there with the betting earlier on in the sort of the week, really, and now it has changed since Unai Emery has been sacked, and Max Allegri has taken the lead in terms of the betting. And Max Allegri is someone that we have already covered today. Myself and Richard Hall from Football Italia did a live interview talking about Max Allegri, which you should definitely go and check out. But today, or rather now in this video, we are going to be covering the Wolverhampton Wanderers manager Nuno Espírito Santo. Nuno Espírito Santo. I've been saying it so much this week, you'd think I would have cracked it by now. But I'm joined and very happy to be joined by Stuart Hall, who is from the Wolves Fancast podcast. And their all in-depth knowledge about Wolves is very, very helpful. And they've been on the show before when we covered Wolverhampton Wanderers preview in the eyes of the opposition show. So Stuart is the perfect person to talk to about this. Now, I want to get his initial reaction. Now, you should know that this was pre-recorded before Unai Emery was sacked, so take that into account. But ultimately, everything that I ask, and I'm going to ask Stuart, is relating to him as a manager, his tactics, his style, and the impact basically a decision for him to leave Wolves would have on that club. So let's start things off by asking Stuart what his initial reaction is to Nuno being linked to the Arsenal job.
To be honest, it surprised me that it's took this long for him to be linked with a job like Arsenal, to be fair. I mean, the job that he's done at Wolves is absolutely tremendous. I mean, it's off the scale what any of us could have expected. I mean, we could have been challenging for the playoffs and people would have been ecstatic in that first season, but to win the league like we did and then cement ourselves and then this season push on again, it's been absolute dreamland. And I can't, thinking about it, the last time we got a manager who was in doubt of being taken away from us was Mick McCarthy in South Korea, however mad that was. So really, it's a situation that none of us have been in. But again, none of us are surprised that it's happened because he's superb.
Now, something which Arsenal fans have been saying quite a lot over the last couple of days or even week is that managers that we're being linked to are quite similar to the one that we had already, which was, of course, Unai Emery. Now, I'm interested, Stuart, to know whether or not you feel that Unai Emery's style, whether you not even know what Unai Emery's style and tactical decisions are, because I genuinely don't really get it. But how similar would you say that a Nuno Espírito Santo's style, tactical play, the way he wants his teams to play their football, how similar to that is it to Unai Emery?
I don't think Nuno and Emery are anywhere near similar to each other, to be honest. Like I said before the game against Arsenal at the Emirates a few weeks ago, that Arsenal are there to be got at, and the amount of chances that they give away, it's night and day compared to what Wolves do. We've always been very tight defensively, but that's not at the detriment to our attacking flair, which we've got in abundance on both sides and through the middle. So Arsenal look open and vulnerable all the time to me, whereas Wolves, in the 2-3 years of Nuno and the system that we play, is nothing like it whatsoever.
Now, something that we covered quite heavily in the Max Allegri show was talking about the defensive side of the game, because Allegri is known for his top quality defensive coaching and the way that he can turn teams around to be much, much better in that area. Now, I'm intrigued to know, in terms of Nuno's side of things, how defensive the guy is and actually how good he is at coaching the defensive side of the game into his players. So, Stuart, in terms of a defensive side and look at things, how well would you describe the coaching defensively that Nuno Espírito Santo employs at Wolves?
Would he be able to? Maybe. You got the problem where you got David Luiz, who's one of your prime defenders there, which is always going to be troublesome. It seems more of a mentality thing to me than anything else at Arsenal. But if you look what he did here, he moved Conor Cody from central midfield, maybe auxiliary right back, and put him as a sweeper. No one saw that coming, and he's blossomed. and to the stage where people talk about him in the England squad. I don't personally think he's that good, but it just shows the development that he has on people. Of course, he could improve it because it's a shambles at the minute. I don't think even Sam Allardyce or the usual defensive managers could improve on that situation. But yeah, Nuno it's defending from the front is very much a thing where everyone has their job. It's not just down to the defenders on their own to do their job, if you know what I mean.
Something else which some Arsenal fans have chosen to sort of beat Nuno with is the quality of signings that he was able to make during his time at Wolverhampton Wanderers. Brought in some really, really good players under obviously the tutelage of Jorge Mendes, who himself divides opinion. And if you are in and connected as much as you should be to Arsenal Twitter, you should know that Mendes is definitely going to be involved in the process of Arsenal bringing in a new coach from the sounds of things because of his connections with Raul Sanllehi. But I'm sort of interested to know and sort of put to bed maybe the myth that Nuno wouldn't be where he is without those quality additions. How good have those signings been? And ultimately, has the success of Wolves been more down to those signings or actually more down to Nuno's brilliant coaching?
Like I just said, it's not just about the players that have been bought in with Wolves. It's what he's done for the players that are already there. Like Cody, Dendoncker has recently been put into defence where he plays for Belgium, but we bought him as a midfielder. Who'd have thought that João Moutinho at the age he's at now, 33, he was finished with Portugal, pretty much, and within 3 or 4 months of playing for Wolves, he's back in the side and now he's integral to them again. So I think whichever team a group of players that Nuno's had, he's got the best out of, regardless of where they've come from. Big money signings have helped us, of course they have. But again, it's been how things have been done. Like Jimenez, who no one had really heard of, had him on loan first and then made it permanent in the summer. Same with Johnny last season. We got him on loan for the first half and then made that permanent. So it's about clever recruiting and progressing what you've already got, which is what Nuno's strength is, I think.
Now, the final question is an important one, especially looking from a Wolves perspective, Stuart. I want to know how painful it might be to see you lose this manager that has taken you so far into the Premier League and taken you to the upper echelons of European football now, which is quite insane. So in terms of if he was to leave and move to Arsenal, what sort of impact would that have on the club?
If he left, it'd be completely devastating to everything that we've built so far. I know we've had things with people asking on Nuno out on the usual socials and stuff, but it's not just him, it's his backroom staff as well. I mean, there's every time he's won Manager of the Month in the Championship and the Premier League, it's all 14 of them are involved and they're all holding there, even the kit man and whatever, sports scientists. It's all about everyone else in the backroom staff. So it's not just Nuno on his own. Saying that, I think that is one of the reasons why I don't see this happening whatsoever. I think people have to understand now that the new regime of the Premier League, where pretty much everyone's got money. I mean, us, West Ham, for whatever good it's done them, everyone has got money now, and we've got plans in place. I mean, the fans love him. He's got pretty much free reign to do whatever he wants. I mean, the training ground's been upgraded, and it was only built 5-6 years ago before he came in. So he can do whatever he wants here. He's got the fan base that love him, and he's got the money to back him as well. And European competition that Arsenal are in is the same as Wolves, so Man United. So for that kind of reason, I think as long as we're progressing on how we're going at the minute, I don't see him moving anywhere whatsoever. Least of all to Arsenal, sorry to say that.
A huge thank you to Stuart Hall from the Wolves Fancast. Please do go check those guys out. All their information will be in the description below. But ultimately, I really want to know your thoughts in our comment section below, what you think about Nuno Espírito Santo being the possible Arsenal head coach moving forwards. Is he someone that you really would be open to the idea of now you've heard everything that you need to hear from Stuart, or are you more leaning towards some of the other candidates that are being raised? Please do let me know in the comments. And once again, a huge thank you to all of you who have been tuning in so far during our time doing these videos, because I've really enjoyed doing this breakdown, and very soon I might have some news about who is going to be that coach, and we can start discussing them in even more depth and more detail. But for now, it's down to Freddie Ljungberg to take the team forwards into that game against Norwich. There will be a show immediately after the Norwich game at the weekend on Sunday, and there will be a podcast on the Monday evening as well. In terms of tomorrow, very busy day for me tomorrow, so I'm not sure if you're going to get an upload then. Fingers crossed you might do in the evening, if you do it a bit extremely late. So even now, unless there's some news that breaks early on in the morning, we might have a day off for TG2. It's been a bit heavy with the content, and I hope you've appreciated it. And if you have, please drop these videos a like. Please check out the Max Allegri video that we've done already today, and of course go and check out the rest of the videos too. Subscribe if you're new, and turn those notifications on so you can join us in our live shows. I'll see you again very, very soon, and as always, up the Arsenal.